welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're here for the first time. My name is Rene and I'm gonna talk to you about the Wheel of Time episode 7. This episode was epic. It was so great. It was awesome. It just surpassed, in my opinion, for me, in my personal ranking, episode 4, which was just amazing. Now we have this episode. It didn't have that finale like Nynaeve going Super Saiyan, but it had an epic opening. Seeing this particular daughter of the spear just massacring all those alien soldiers while being so pregnant, it was just insane. It was such an intense scene and it was choreographed so well. That action scene, it gave me so much hope for the future of this series. Just thinking about the possibilities of having more Aiel fight like that. Think about that. All fans of the books know the Aiel are just the most intense and interesting folks you can imagine. It's so cool. It's so effing cool. I loved it. And it gave me everything I was hoping for in this scene. Great. I'm particularly interested in all the non-book readers, so let me know in the comments below. Did you know what this scene meant when you watched it, or did you just understand it when we had that big reveal at the end of the episode? I'm really interested in that, because I'd like to know if that was taking away from it or if it served its purpose as it was intended to. So let me know about that in the comments below. After that we had the Ways, and I was also concerned about the look of the Ways when I saw them for the first time in episode 6. It was definitely different from what I had imagined when I read the books, but it was okay. It worked on screen. It looked ominous, it looked dangerous, it looked dark, and it was awesome. The lightning helped to just see a little bit more, and it was good. Also, I loved how Loyal was again explaining the world, and like he was, the way just he was carrying himself as Loyal. That was great. I wish we had more of him. See, Rafe talked about, we all love Loyal, and if we had done him as a CGI creature, we wouldn't have had so many chances of seeing him. But he was barely in this episode, and the other ones as well. So, makes me think. Of course, we will see more of him in upcoming episodes, I'm sure of that, but that was a letdown of this episode. Still, it was an awesome episode, but he just disappeared after they had arrived in Faldara. Well, whatever. We had some great scenes within the Ways, some great display of power once again from Nynaeve, and it looked awesome. I called it again the Raging Sun when I watched the episode. I made a reaction video in German if you're interested. There's more drama between our main characters and more character development. It's interesting that they aged up the characters to avoid YA drama, just to reinsert it into the episode, but I guess it worked, and it explained a lot more about the character dynamics from episode 1. So we now know more about Lila and Perrin and Egwene. We don't get this in the Ways, but later on in the episode I'm just jumping around a little bit, but whatever. It worked. In my opinion, it worked. And they don't have to follow that path of love triangle stuff, but I guess it's okay. It's okay. We'll see. What else? Lord Agelmar was a little bit too antagonistic for my taste, but I guess they wanted to explain that, well, like in the books, there's not much Aes Sedai presence in the Borderlands where they would be needed. So that they might be pissed off a little bit because they always have to fight those creatures of the dark and no Aes Sedai are there to help them. So it makes sense, kind of. So they took world building over being faithful to the books once again. And I guess we have to wait and see how that pays off. It's okay. book purists will have a problem with that, I'm sure, but I'm fine with it. I loved how Faldara Keep looked. Those establishing shots of Faldara Keep looked just phenomenal. And within the keep, it looked so good. Here you could really make out the difference between a set that was just built to resemble Tavalon and something that was remodeled, something real, something existing in our world. And you could see that here. It worked so much better. So I'm fine with that. I prefer it to have even more quality for each new episode than the other way around, so that's nice. And the VFX also in this episode, everything looked better. With each episode we are getting better, and we are just one episode short of the finale. And I hope we're gonna see where all those VFX dollars went, so let's wait and see. I guess we will see some epic battle, I hope, at least in Tarwin's Gap. Everything is building up to it. Yeah, what else? There was also some really great character development between Nynaeve and Lan, also being used to explore the world a little bit more, talking about Malkir and how it was lost to the Blight and the role of Lan and being the last king and so forth. Really nice little details of some other guys wearing the Adori and his wife having that, I forgot about that dot on the forehead, which has some significance for the future, and I just like that. There was a lot of foreshadowing again in this episode. The way Nynaeve snuck back into Lan's room, it worked for a TV show. It's not really in character for Nynaeve, for book Nynaeve, but they have to be a little bit faster than the book, so I'm okay with it. We have to see. I hope they just don't undermine that conflict between Nynaeve, Moraine and Lan, because Lan is already kind of taken, so now she slept with him and, well, that's gone. They can't build up to that anymore. What else? We saw Min for the first time. And Uno. Okay, both were great. Min was slightly different than I remembered her from the books. Maybe more like Min in some books further along. Not quite as rural and innocent, maybe, like she appeared in book 1. Or did we meet her in book 2? I can't remember. No, it was book 1, Berlon. It seems like they have made her a borderlander. It's okay. I think that is not a defining trait of her character. Her visions were great. I really liked the visual style of those visions. It didn't look as corny as I imagined it from their descriptions from the book, so good job. I don't know what to make of that prediction of Rand holding a baby. Maybe it's some example of some of her more confusing visions, which not always mean what they show literally. So maybe he was holding himself as a baby, something like a revelation of him finding out about himself and his birth, maybe something like that. We will see. It was cool. What else? Rand finding out. I have some mixed feelings about that. It felt kind of anticlimactic, to me at least, because I'm a book reader. I really want to find out what my non-book reader viewers think about this scene when we find out who the Dragon Reborn is. How did you feel about that in that moment? Did that reveal work for you? Let me know in the comments below. Really interested in your thoughts about that. Right, and the Blight looked awesome. Definitely different again from my imagination and how it was described in the books, but it looked cool. And I'm really looking forward to the finale. I am hyped. How do you feel about episode 7, and what do you think is expecting us in the finale? What about the Eye of the World being the prison of the Dark One? Is this just some misinformation and Moraine believes it to be true? Or did they change it fundamentally? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching this long. and see you in the next one. Prof out.